What exactly do? We just
I think we
take
pick
a
it
card?
up, yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Did you find being mixed heritage confusing?
I'm from Wexford, and they're like, why are you black?
Would you consider an interracial relationship?
Where are you really from?
Personally, I do not feel like I belong anywhere.
Growing up, people might have thought it was weird that I was in a girls' school, kind of thought like, oh, what's this one doing here kind of thing.
You say, okay, I'm from Wexford, and they're like, but where are you from? And you're like, Wexford. And in my head, it's like construed as like, why are you black?
All the time. I don't even do it to be cheeky, genuinely. I just say I'm from here.
10 years of your life, really, when you're still a child. And then you move to Northern Ireland, you get called a foreigner every 5 minutes.
Would you consider an interracial relationship?
Dating mixed people or even light-skinned people,
I'm light-skinned.
I just find that, like, the self-hatred really shows.
There's a lot of racism within the black community.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Honestly, I believe love is love. It doesn't matter what colour you are. But I think as I'm getting older, I've just started to notice this trend with white men in particular. And even if you use stuff like Tinder, hey, Ebony Queen, hey, Chocolate Queen, it's so cringy. I'm so sorry. It's just kind of like, why is there so much emphasis
on the race that I am? Why can't I
race?
just be a human being?
Right.
I had someone say to me, like, while dating my current boyfriend, oh, I didn't expect him to look like that. And I said, well, what do you mean? I didn't expect you to be going out for a white guy. So then I said, well, what did you expect? And she said, oh, I expected you to be going out for a big black thug.
I've only ever been in interracial relationships, and I think that's just so crazy when I say it. I think I've never kind of dismissed interracial relationships because, like, the first person I've ever been in love with was a white guy. So, with that relationship, I never felt like race was a thing. Like, I never felt like he saw me as a fetish or like I was like black. I just felt like a human being.
A lot of dark-skinned guys will openly say, I only date light-skinned women and white women.
Where it's kind of like, do you like me because I'm me, or do you like me because I'm black? And it's a fetish type of vibe. But this is just what I've been coming across recently.
Is social media a positive force?
All these dances that are created, majority of them are being created by young black dancers, and they're not the ones in the spotlight. They're not the content that's getting pushed.
I obviously think the algorithm is racist. It definitely is not, especially for dark-skinned people, because that's not what generates likes.
Where have you experienced the most racism?
I was in a pub watching a match. Ireland were playing France in a rugby game, and I was with a couple of pals. Nice pub in town, and I went to the bathroom. I was talking to this guy about the game, and leaving the pub, he went, all right, I'll see you later, N-word.
You're very pretty for a dark-skinned girl.
Yeah.
And I never find that to be a compliment. I've always asked people, what do you mean by that?
I remember one troll saying, like, oh, you're hijacking the Irish language and all this kind of thing. Oh, you'll never be Irish, even if you speak Irish, blah, blah, blah.
You know what people actually say to me, and what I've heard from people a lot is, like, oh, you're a nice colour of black. Like, you're not too dark.
How was your school experience?
I think when we grew up in the 80s, there wasn't a huge amount of kind of mixed race people around.
In school, I talk about it all the time. I was the only black person in my entire school year. And because I was constantly in such a white space, I didn't want to be different. I wanted to be just like everyone else.
We were playing a team, and I was about under 11s, under 12s, and this guy I was playing in midfield with, he kept saying the N-word and this, and then he spat at me, and you know, we spoke about it, and you're like, why didn't the referee get involved? And you don't even think about it, like the referee should get involved.
So when I started in first year, I had zero English. Like, obviously we learned a bit of English back in Portugal, but I never took interest, so I had zero English. I told myself I have to learn English quick because they used to speak to me and then laugh amongst each other, and I couldn't understand.
So you're like, I need to learn it quick so I know what they're talking about.
I need to know what they're talking about.
People would call us stupid names around, you know, N-word or gollywog or poo-face or that type of stuff. And I remember just being really confused and being kind of ashamed and not really understanding why this was happening. And not that it happened every single day, but it would have happened maybe a couple of times a month or something like that. Enough for you to know you're different.
I think the vast majority of people in Ireland, they fundamentally believe that everyone is deserving of, let's say, human dignity and respect.
Yeah.
These topics, talking about them, are great, and it's great that we get to do this and just educate people. But there's so much more to being a black person than just racism.
Just being black.
It's not Chile, it's not Chalala, not a hard pill to swallow. Chile or Chile, Chia, Chila.